Everything about Birds of Prey is a far cry from a standard comic book movie. It's female-led, R-rated, small-scale stakes, visually inventive, and close to 90 minutes. Wow, really? Fantastic. I love that it features an extended sequence where Harley goes full Terminator 2 through a police station. I love that there's an entire chase where Harley fawns over a breakfast sandwich and weeps when it later hits the ground and splatters everywhere in what could be the single most relatable moment in movie history. At times with its creepy, fog-drenched depictions of Amusement Mile and asides where Harley does her best Marilyn Monroe impressions, it feels like the closest we've ever come to a live-action Batman the Animated Series movie. There's a clear focused style to the entire thing that propels it along with an energy that makes that already lean running time fly by. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and Ewan McGregor's Black Mask steal the show as the film's principal hero and villain respectively. Harley is a person, but she's also a victim of intense psychological and physical abuse. The movie never makes any excuses for her criminal behaviour during and preceding the events of this story, but also gives the audience a poignant window into the pain and emotional torture she has endured. Her life as it stands in a post-Joker world is sad and lonely, and all the while watching we desperately want to see her reclaim a handle on her life and start living. Black Mask is deliciously evil in a fun, isn't he naughty way, until he suddenly humiliates a person in the middle of a club in what is a sobering moment of cruelty for the audience. As if director Cathy Yan wants to remind you that no, you shouldn't be enjoying Roman Sionis on screen for a second. He is a terrible, terrible guy. And Harley Quinn is going to dish out what he deserves, and it is going to be glorious. The action is small but insanely well choreographed and cut together. It doesn't take itself seriously, but that doesn't mean it can't pause the antics to tell real human stories. Really, I think this movie's only issues stem from it not knowing whether it wants to be a Harley Quinn solo movie and a Birds of Prey team-up movie. It's predominantly driven by Harley, she's the narrator and she's clearly got the most to do, but then it is a multi-strand tale and we get shown enough from Black Canary and Detective Montoya to count as separate perspectives. But on the other hand, Huntress just seems like a bit of an afterthought and popped up far less than I thought, and Cassandra Cain is just kind of there. She's really more of a plot device than a fully developed personality, and on that note, Montoya gets a lot to do, but I'm not sure it was all that interesting. She's definitely the weakest of the bunch. As a team-up movie, I feel like it's closer to 2 to 3 out of 5 of them getting the star treatment, really, which is okay if you're happy with the fact that this is a Harley Quinn movie, which I am, but I can see why it might disappoint some. And whilst Black Mask is great, I kinda can't help but think his role in the movie should have been written as the Joker, if indeed Harley's whole arc is about getting over him. Isn't it odd that he isn't the one causing Harley and the gang all this trouble? It feels like very early on in this movie's development, someone at WB was like, nah, you can't actually use the Joker, guys. You can refer to him a whole lot, sure, but don't have him crop up or we'll have to decide whether or not we're recasting or using Jared Leto again, and nobody wants to confront that right now. The movie makes it work nonetheless, but I would have just loved to see this Harley given something to do in opposition of a truly great Joker performance. Although, mad props to being what is essentially an hour and a half of giving Jared Leto the metaphorical middle finger, which is just fantastic because he played the Joker for 8 minutes and it was literally the worst thing DC Comics has ever put to film. I've seen people say this is DC's Deadpool, and honestly I think that's disingenuous to both movies. Having an R rating and some raunchy jokes doesn't make them the same movie, and Birds of Prey is just preoccupied with bringing fresh ideas to the table. But more so than any of that, I just like what it means for the future of the genre. It adapts the comic books, but is never at any point afraid to mark its own territory. It's simultaneously a sequel to Suicide Squad, but not really. It references characters and events present in a wider DC universe, but only when the movie feels like it, often for a throwaway gag. It gives zero f***s about continuity, or immersion, or making sure it's in keeping with whatever prior filmmakers have done. It just is. It does exactly what it wants, when it wants, which I suppose makes it true to its starring character. Thank you for watching another Full Fat video. If you'd like to see more from Full Fat videos, why not follow us on Instagram and Twitter? Please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. We've got some cool exclusive content on there. Thank you to our $100 patrons, Dr. Chike and Jax Merrick. Chris and I really, really appreciate it. Until next time, stay milky.